Okay, today we're going to work on the wires. I'm going to work on the rat's nest. So I've already got the baseboard out of the way. That went pretty easy. Came out in multiple pieces, but that's okay. 100-year-old piece of wood. So as it turns out, the rat's nest, all this, is really only 2 wires coming to the floor. This one, which I think this was for the old dishwasher. So this one will go back down through. And then this one here, which branches off to a million other things, it's actually just 1 wire here. So there's 2 wires, and then of course the big one for the stove, but that's easy. I know that one there, I can see it from downstairs. So that'll be, once I get the power turned off, it'll be easy to pull this one out. This one here is a little bit tight. Hopefully I can see it down there, and I'll have to open this junction and separate all this, and then pull this one down separate. Before this kitchen all started, before any filming started, of course right here where this little trench is, I don't have any footage of that really, but there used to be a vertical wall here, so this kitchen was completely sealed off from the rest of this area here that I'm standing in. So where the black pipe is, there was a wall here with a small door opening. So there's still a notch here, and there was notch there, and this was a door opening. So same with this dining room here. This was just a regular sized door about up to here, and then so this wall we took down. This entire wall we took down, and what I'm getting at is there's lots of other electrical wires that have been pulled. All the electrical that's here, I ran this one because these were all in different locations, and there's quite a few more wires that are downstairs just under here, because all the outlets, when the wall was here at one time, there was about 5 or 6 outlets. So all along here was all wiring, and the switches for the overhead lights were all in this wall here. So that's all been rerouted to over there on the other side, and all the stuff on the back wall and the rat's nest is going to be pulled down. So also the fridge used to be plugged in over here. So there's now some wires that have been pulled down the basement here, and I'm still using this one here now. I'm not sure if this one's going to be able to stay. I'm not sure if the pantry is going to come here. I know the pantry comes up to around here somewhere, I think, and I would like to keep this one if I can. So maybe I could just, if it will fit, I would just move this one over here and then have my pantry cover this hole. So it'd be kind of easy, and this box is completely loose here, so it'll be easy. Just got to cut the plaster out in the lath. So anyway, that's where we're at today. I'm gonna play with some wires. Okay, well here we are in the basement. I got my headlight on. It looks like the wires we gotta pull are this one. That's the one that's shielded, and then this looks like this is the second one here. And maybe, if I'm lucky, they're long enough that I'll be able to re-snake them and reuse them just as they are. This, of course, is the big one for the stove, and whoever installed this in the past, I've got all this slack here, so it just kind of hangs. It kind of hangs like that, which is kind of silly, but gonna make it easy because I'll be able to just disconnect it and move this around wherever I want. Maybe coil this up a little bit better or shorten it. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, those are the 2 wires I'm going to pull for now. It's a little bit tight behind the furnace here. It's not ideal, but... And behind this, I mean, this is the furnace here. It's a little bit interesting. This is the oil-fired furnace, which was put in probably 30 years ago. And in this box here, which has been all entombed, I believe is the old heating system for the house. And God knows what's in there, if it's a coal-fired boiler or what. But it probably had some asbestos of some sort, so they've got it all encased, completely encased and sealed up. And I believe, in fact I'm pretty sure, That is the old, either the old furnace or the old boiler or whatever. Not sure what's under there. I might open that one day, but because the previous owner was here for 30 odd years, and I guess that was like that when he moved in. So God knows what could be in there. This is another wire that I've pulled from upstairs. That was by the so that's another opportunity for electrical, if I can either reuse that somewhere or cap that off. Now unfortunately the junction box is way behind there. I'm probably gonna have to take apart the that heating duct to get to it, because the forced hot air heat was added at a later time, obviously. And there's another couple of, excuse the filming, there's another couple of wires hanging down here from upstairs. Here's one, and I believe this red one here too. These were all in that wall that I talked about that I removed. So I'm going to shut the power off. I'm going to pull these wires down and try to rerun them. Okay, I'm progressing with the wiring. The rat's nest is gone, and I've got 2 leads downstairs ready to be snaked up. I just did the stove outlet, which was a little bit of a can of worms. I simply had to move it from over here, a few feet over to this location. I just did some markings of where the kitchen was going to be laid out. So I've got my first cabinet here, which is 24 inches, and I'm going to need a receptacle here. Then the stove, 30 inches. I got the outlets centered there, just about. And then there's going to be another cabinet at this location, right about from here to here, another 24 inches, and I got an outlet marked here. I still got to put one down there for the refrigerator. But this is what I got done so far. I got the stove outlet moved, and it turns out it was an old shielded cable, a very old cable, but I didn't shorten it or anything. I just undid it, moved it over, and put it back together. Now I got the stove plugged in, the old stove, but I'm just testing it, and it looks like the power's on and everything's good, no sparks. So that's wired up correctly. And so now I've got my power back on. So now I'm going to assess these. I'm going to take my oscillating tool, I think, my oscillating tool down here. And I'm going to cut out these boxes and maybe make a little trench all the way to the bottom. Or maybe a hole at the bottom and the top, I'm not sure, to try to snake the wire. Of course, the house has been insulated with the blown-in cellulose, so whenever you open the wall, this stuff falls everywhere. But I packed in the outlet there with some fiberglass, and yeah, I'm just gonna cut these 2 holes for now, and then I'll make a little bit of a trench going all the way down, and I'll try to run some electricity up to these 2. So I'll have these, I'm hoping by today to have this back wall done on the electrical, and of course cleaned up. The cleanup never ends, but that's all part of it. Okay, continuing with my electrical. I'm using this piece of PEX plumbing. I'm going to use this as my fish. It's flexible, and but it's rigid, and there it comes out the bottom. So I'm going to try to use this. The biggest issue now is I've got the hole drilled downstairs for the wire to come up through, but in the wall here there's some type of an angled, there's one of these wind braces. So now I've got to try to drill. There's a 2x4 running this way now on an angle, so unfortunately my outlet landed right where that was. So I got to drill here, then I'm going to feed the wire up from the basement, and hopefully I can attach it to this and pull it right through this cavity, and hopefully not disturb the insulation too much. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Okay, well, I'm still drilling this diagonal piece. I think my drill bit has pretty much had it, but I'm just about through. I got all my batteries on the charger, so I'm gonna take this time to take a little break. So I'm gonna take a little break right now. I think this is gonna work. When I was digging in here, I found another little treasure. Now I know this one's not gonna be worth anything, but it was all crumpled up, and here it is. It's some kind of a little tin, and it says, what does it say? It's hard to hold the camera. Rakwana, and it's some kind of a tea. It's tea. It's from Halifax, it looks like. There's a name on here, John Tobin and Company. So it's like a little tea tin. It was in the walls there, all crumpled up. So somebody was having tea here when they were building the house, probably in 1918. So a little tin, just garbage really, but interesting. And it is from Halifax, city where we live. And see if I can get something pound label. John Tobin and Company, Halifax. I can't even make this out. I cannot make it out. But anyway, cool little find. Little tea tin from way back. Okay, waiting for my batteries to charge. I think I'm gonna have a coffee and try this again after. Okay, it's now the next day. I've got my fish in the wall here, which is a piece of PEX. I'm just going to try to see if this is going to work. No guarantees, but I got the PEX down here, and I got a piece of wire that I'm going to try to fish up. Finally got this hole drilled through that angle brace. I got the hole drilled down here. So now I'm going to see if this is going to work. No guarantees. Where am I? Here we go. So, here we go. Hold it. Oh, slowly. Oh, I see tape. There's a wire. Yeah. One successful fish. So I guess this is going to work. Good stuff. Now I just need to tuck this other end down here, down that hole, and then I'll go find it in the basement. And I'm going to do the same to this one. A little bit more work to do there. I got to drill that hole down there. Sorry. This one down there. And then yesterday, I thought I had this all figured out until I looked at my plan again, and I just realized I still need a wire for the range hood microwave, which is going to be somewhere up here. So I got my work cut out for me. So the fish works for this shorter distance. I'm going to do this one again. I'm going to do that one, and then I'm going to do one for the fridge over here. But then after those three, I saved the worst one for last. I do need one somewhere up here. I'm going to have to measure a little bit. It's going to be where this 30 inch marking is, because this is where the stove is going to be. And then the range hood microwave is up here. So I got my work cut out, and that is where the old window used to be. So there's some extra framing in there. Yeah, I'll save that one for last, but I almost forgot about that. Yeah, you learn as you go. Okay, back at it. It's about a couple hours later. Actually went really well. I got my wires fished up with my PEX pipe. So just as planned, my outlets are in. I got one here. Lots of wire left to spare. Goes down through the floor there. Going to be tied into the basement. Same over here. You can see right beside the level. There's my second outlet. Stove all done, good to go. And down in the corner there is going to be for the fridge, which is going to be in that corner. So the outlet's going to be mounted just a little bit higher, right where the lath is exposed. And the one that I was scared of the most was this one here. The one for the microwave range hood, which I had forgotten. But I have a nice shielded cable. I think that was the old, that used to feed the old dishwasher. So it should be fine for the microwave. It was plenty long, so I didn't have to do any alterations or anything. Just had to, the hard part was just drilling through all that lumber and then fishing it up through the wall through the insulation. But I had to do a couple little holes there to guide it on its way down. But the fish is through, the wire's all the way through. I mean, why I did it this way, I'll never know. You know, why I plastered and painted the wall and then put a bunch of holes in it for outlets. You know, if I had my time back, I would have peeled that old plaster off, because half of it fell off down there anyway. And half of it up here was gone, so I pasted all that up. And then this bottom here, which is going to be hidden, it's fine that it's hidden, but I obviously can't leave it like that. So I'm going to have to remove all that lath, and then I can replace that. I'll have to cut a square and put a piece of drywall. So why I did everything half-assed backwards, I don't know, but I just kind of progressed with, you know, what I had in my head. But anyway, it's all done, it's all there, it's all wired. I actually can't believe I'm at this point. So basically now, I may actually be able to start assembling some cabinets and putting them back on this wall. I'm going to start with this wall, like I mentioned before. But pretty happy. Electrical is in. The studs are marked. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do some tidying up. Sweep all this stuff up, because a lot of the cellulose fell down. But I do have fiberglass bats, so I will cut out the bad sections and I will insulate. I will put the boxes in and try to get this cleaned up a little bit and make it livable, because we are still living here. So happy about that. Time for some cleanup. That's all for now. All right, a few hours later, still working back here. Got all the boxes in, secured. All the wires are fished. They've been tested. All the connections are made downstairs. No sparks, no trouble. So we have power everywhere. I even have the fridge pushed back to where the new fridge is going to be. The new outlet back there. And there we go. So I also, while I was at it, I had to a couple areas of the plaster that were just crumbling, so I just cut out a couple squares, fixed that up. Obviously it's what I should have done in the first place, but it is what it is. All done. A little bit of mud around the holes. Yeah, pretty happy now. This phase of my project is done. So now I'm done for today. I'm gonna finish sweeping and make supper. And the next project will be starting to assemble the cabinets on this back wall. I've been waiting for this for seems like forever, but I'm going to read my plans a little more carefully before I just jump into this. So yeah, I don't know how much I'll get done. Tomorrow is my last day. I am going back to work. My extra week off has come to an end. So I'm pretty happy with what I got done overall. It was just a bonus because I was supposed to be cooped up at work. But I got this done. A little bit slow going at times, but at the end, it's all done. And when you do it yourself, it doesn't cost you anything. And you learn. So all good. Electrical complete.